This week on Boy Party, Shane and I are writing our memoirs. It's the Coen Brothers 2008 classic farce, Burn After Reading. Welcome to Boy Party, the cast tackles cinema's most legendary team-ups, films where two or more major stars share the screen, battle it out for screen time, top billing, the fatter paycheck, and the most acclaim. My name is Lucien and I'm joined as always by Shane Kelly. Hello, Shane.
Hello, Lucy.
And this week we are discussing one of the Coen Brothers' finest films, a true boy and girl party.
Yeah.
A fucking phenomenal ensemble
Boys
cast.
and girls as far as the eye can see.
George Clooney, Frances McDormand, Brad Pitt, Richard Jenkins, Tilda Swinton, John Malkovich, and have I forgotten anyone?
J.K.
Simmons.
Carl from
Succession.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Fun guy to have around, though.
Fun guy to have around. Peter. It's his Rash. Peter Rash.
Peter Rash.
Or A-S-C-H, I think is his name. Or with an E.
Put some respect on his name.
I will. I've named all the main actors in this film, I think. Yeah, a fantastic film.
Who's his Clooney's wife? Is
Elizabeth Marvell.
Elizabeth, of course. Elizabeth Marvell.
David Resch and Jeffrey DeMond. That's everyone.
Yep.
It is a farcical comedy set in the Washington D.C. world of espionage.
Mm-hmm. Good DC movie.
Good DC movie.
Yeah.
And it was released in 2008, written, produced, edited, and directed by Joel and Ethan Coen. Probably one of their most accessible comedies for the average normie.
This is a real film I recommend to people when they ask out of nowhere.
I think there's something in it for everyone. Because even if you're not into the Coen Brothers' typical eccentric style of humor, I think that this film has enough stupid, easy humor in it, just very universal jokes like the penis chair and Brad Pitt's death scene, that anyone who likes those actors.
But there's also very little subtlety to any of the performances.
Oh, exactly.
Well, there's you understand what the character is immediately, the way they manufactured these characters.
Everything's played very big
well.
because everyone's playing an idiot.
Yes, everyone's an idiot.
The least stupid person in the film, I guess, is Malkovich. But
yeah.
He's vain in a way that makes him more stupid than everyone else.
He's
so vain that it's worse than stupidity.
Yeah, and he ends up kind of worse than everyone.
Yeah. Everyone else is playing a complete moron, and I mean, he constantly calls people morons. Mm-hmm. His great scene where he confronts Clooney and he says, you represent everything that is wrong with the world, the stupidity of you, the ignorance of humanity, you absolute moron. He's so good in this.
Yeah.
But it is a few of the best actors of the generation at their prime.
Just fully locked into this.
Yeah, and just playing big, silly, over-the-top characters. Mm-hmm. And it's great. We'll be honest with you folks. We took a short break there in the recording to eat ice creams. Mm-hmm. And if you can hear us chewing on our ice cream still, we do apologize. But I think it is the right vibe for this film.
Oh, 100%. That's a real Brad Pitt's character. Yeah. Would do that.
So John Malkovich is kind of Loki, the main character.
It starts with him.
Yeah. He's writing he gets fired from his job in the CIA.
And that kind of triggers a series of events that
he's writing his memoirs. Does he say memoirs or his memoir? Singular or plural?
I'm thinking of writing a memoir.
I'm thinking of writing my memoir.
That's much better first.
I don't know how good my John Malkovich is. I have the weird rhythms. But also I'm doing James Mason at the same time. Well, James Mason, George Kaplan, you're welcome to my house. These aren't very good impressions. No. My Malkovich is okay. You know who I'm getting at.
He's so distinct that if you get anywhere close, you kind of know where you're going.
He's a guy you'd think people would do more, like Christopher Walken. You'd think that he's very famous.
If you get into if you see your TikTok impressionists come up, they do Malkovich and Walken together.
Do you think Malkovich was in the mix for the Emperor in Dune? He definitely could have got that role. He would have been really good. I think he might have been.
Is he too silly?
He might have been better. But does he not? He has Harkonnen face.
He's already
bald head.
But the Emperor's not a Harkonnen. Oh, you think instead of Skarsgård? No,
I was thinking instead of Walken, but now you're right. He's not a Harkonnen. He doesn't have that body.
He could have just been a random Harkonnen.
He should be a Harkonnen. He should have the fucking bald head, the white face, and just be Fade Ratha. I'm doing Christopher Walken now. Okay. Yeah. He is writing his memoirs, and then his memoirs go missing on a CD-ROM of some kind. We're in a pre-flash drive world, right?
Yeah, it's on a CD.
Yeah.
Which I think it goes missing because his wife Tilda Swinton wants to divorce him.
Yeah.
And I think she wants to bring the copy of the memoir to her divorce attorney.
Sure.
There must be some gossip on it.
Sure.
That's my understanding of the plot.
So it ends up in a gym called Hard Bodies.
Hard Bodies.
Which is run by a sort of a sullen Richard Jenkins and two absolute fuckwit idiots, personal trainer types. One called Linda Litsky, played by Frances McDormand.
Who's doing a kind of Johnny Depp in Willy Wonka,
Sure.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory
She's
impression.
got this bob haircut.
Yeah.
She's terrifyingly vain. She's obsessed with getting plastic surgery.
Yeah.
She is like, it is such a good performance.
Oh,
and
it's
like,
incredible.
It's so transformative. Like Frances McDormand.
Like her whole thing is she's just going on dates the entire film.
Frances McDormand is a 3-time Oscar-winning actress. She is known. Now, I wouldn't say Fargo is entirely different to this, but she's known for playing very serious, strong-willed, stern women.
Yeah.
And in this film, she plays a bumbling bimbo narcissist.
Yeah.
And it is 100% convincing.
That's so good.
It's so good. Like, I mean, I would say something that's just sprung into my mind right now. This is what Cate Blanchett thought she was doing in Don't Look Up. Didn't work as well. Similar kind of thing.
I forgot Cate Blanchett was in Don't Look Up.
Known for playing very serious woman playing a bimbo. Like, anyway, she's great in this. Brad Pitt plays Chad. Chad by name, Chad by nature. He is a still resonant himbo idiot character.
Yep.
It's the squarest head on a man you can imagine. Looks like a football player and is kind of just like powered on.
He's like a personal trainer for women in their middle ages or whatever.
He's not quite gay. He's not quite straight. He's kind of just floating on a cloud of his own self-assurance.
Yeah.
Phenomenal performance.
Not a care in the world.
They're so good together. Then, meanwhile, we have George Clooney, who is he's like another government guy.
He's just a civil servant kind of guy.
He's a Shane Kelly type.
Sure.
He is caught up in this because he is seemingly some sort of sex addict who cannot stop going on dates.
Yeah, he's having an affair with John Malkovich's wife.
Yes.
And
John other women.
And she wants to break up or dump Malkovich to start a thing with George Clooney.
Yeah. So Clooney also is going on dates with Frances McDormand, and they go to see a fake rom-com starring Dermot Mulroney and who's the woman?
Don't ask me.
Now I have no idea. They go to see a fake movie with Dermot Mulroney and an actress whose name I will tell for you in a second. Tell for you? What language am I speaking today? Fake or rom-com? It's like one of the famous actresses of the 2000s. It is amazing that Google couldn't answer that for me. Incredible that I would put in very easy words and it just wouldn't be able to tell me the answer to my question. That's just magnificent.
That's
folks.
unfortunate.
I love when the internet won't do what I want. Who knows? Who knows who the actress is? Somebody more famous than Dermot Mulroney.
We put her on the artwork just for...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And anyway, so they're going out with each other, and he gets caught up in the plan as well.
Yeah, like this film is just like one of these 3 different plot lines kind of converge into the one thing.
Yeah, sort of.
People are all doing their own thing.
Frances and Brad want to basically blackmail John Malkovich.
Yes, they find the disc.
They can get a bunch of money off of it.
And when they put it into the computer, it comes up as like encrypted.
Yeah,
but it's also like CIA stories because that's where John Malkovich works. So
they know it's valuable.
Yeah, they read stuff about Hungarian ministerial espionage or something.
They go to the Russian ambassador to try and sell the CIA secrets to the Russian ambassador
after trying to blackmail.
Now, it makes no sense why they want to do that, just out of spite, I guess.
No, because they think Frances McDormand thinks she will get money in exchange so she can have her
Russia.
surgery.
Yeah.
They're trying to extort John Malkovich first.
Yes.
So they ring him and they're like, I'm a good Samaritan.
Yes. And he's like,
I have your disc.
Like, do you understand what I am saying, you fucking idiots? It's great. He screams them on the phone. Great stuff.
Really good.
This film is 16 years old, and when they go to the Russian embassy, there is a massive photo of Vladimir Putin on the wall, which is just great. Great stuff that he's been in office that entire time.
That's great. He shows up to the Russians. They're like, what are you idiots doing?
Yeah, like, we don't care. Like, go away.
Frances McDormand thinks she's like in a fucking spy movie. And it's fun.
It's great.
Anyway.
So, I guess, and then Richard Jenkins is kind of just there, and he's in love with Frances McDormand, and she doesn't care about him because he's not that stereotypical, I guess.
Yeah.
He doesn't really get up to much. He gets killed at the end.
Everyone gets killed.
Everyone gets killed at the end, more or less. Most famous, well, Frances McDormand doesn't. And George Clooney doesn't.
George Clooney gets sent to Venezuela. Frances McDormand has her surgeries paid for to keep quiet about all the dead people.
Yes. That's how it ends.
And,
yeah. So she's fine. It's the most iconic scene in the film is probably when Brad Pitt has broken into John Malkovich and Tilda Swinton's house.
Yeah.
To try and get more secrets.
Yep.
And George Clooney comes home because he's sleeping with Tilda Swinton. Mm-hmm. And Brad Pitt hides in the closet.
Yeah.
And he is peeking out the door of the closet for like 5 minutes while George Clooney is going to the toilet and getting dressed.
Yeah.
And he has all of these very narrow windows to run out of the room.
And he misses them all.
He misses them all. George Clooney walks right towards him, pulls open the door. Brad Pitt is standing there with the stupidest, goofiest grin on his face ever. And within a quarter of a second gets shot in the head and dies.
It's hysterical.
It's great, and it's one of the two biggest stars in the film being killed. Not particularly early, but he gets shot probably about an hour and 5 or an hour and 10 into a 110-minute film. So it's a little earlier than you'd expect from Brad Pitt.
I remember being really shocked when
and it's
I saw
fantastic.
this for the first time.
It's so shocking and it's so good. The whole thing kind of operates in a cycle where it both starts and ends with David Rash basically and these CIA guys in an office
Langley or whatever
being like, "Oh my god, like this is so stupid," and you basically
it starts off with, "We're firing you, John Malkovich, for being annoying," or whatever,
and it ends on like, what do we learn from any of this? Nothing, just to never do this again. Like, complete nothingness. Like, so
it's, I like, for as kind of explanatory as the ending is, like, I think it's very funny. Just like J.K. Simmons is just like, so what? He's just being told the story by someone else.
Yes. This film got no Oscar nominations.
It was disappointment.
It was the first Coen. It was the Coens' follow-up to their Best Picture win.
Yep.
No Country for Old Men.
This is how you use an Oscar.
This is how
win.
you use an Oscar win. Yep. I think it is just such a swerve in the other direction of just like pure comedy.
Yeah.
Even though it deals with a lot of the same ideas around like all their other films around like people who get involved in crime and aren't up to it, and people with the wrong character types for crime that are trying to get into crime, and a lot of their films are about that. They're about like bumbling idiots trying to pull off hijinks, like up until and including Ethan's newest film, Drive Away Dolls, which is very much along the same lines. Two naive people,
they have something they don't fully understand.
They don't understand. They're trying to get profit out of it.
Yeah.
This is the theme of 90% of the Coen Brothers films. It's there in No Country. It's there in Blood Simple. It's there in Raising Arizona, and it's definitely there in Burn After Reading. This is their second highest grossing film at the worldwide box office, which I think makes a lot of sense because it is, as I said, quite accessible, quite commercial,
incredibly marketable,
very marketable. I don't think many people would be turned off watching this film.
No,
it is a
series
of well-liked stars.
This is a strong
easy one to
career period for Clooney and Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
like, this is kind of their peak.
The year after
late 30s, early 40s, I guess.
At this point, mid 40s.
Mid 40s.
This is the year after Michael Clayton. It is 2 years after Clooney wins his Oscar for Syriana.
Yeah.
It is the year after Pitt has been in Assassination of Jesse James. It's the year before Benjamin Button. Like, they're both doing really well.
Yeah.
Can you guess the Coen Brothers' highest grossing film at the worldwide box office with $252 million?
252.
This film made 168 worldwide. Which 107 of which was outside of the US.
Is it just randomly True Grit now or something?
It is True Grit.
It is True Grit, yeah.
True Grit is also very commercial. Big budget Western, Matt Damon, Josh Brolin, Jeff Bridges. I feel like it's an easier sell. It's an easier sell than most of their films.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well,
something I haven't watched in, I'd say, 8 years.
I don't like it as much as these. I watched it only about a year ago. No Country for Old Men is the third highest grossing, and then Intolerable Cruelty, The Lady Killer, like the not beloved ones. Intolerable Cruelty over 100 million. George Clooney again, like huge star power. The Lady Killers, Oh Brother, Hail Caesar. Interesting how the Clooney ones all do well. Fargo, Lebowski, and now we're down into like indie box office.
Yeah,
Inside Llewyn Davis, A Serious Man, funnily enough, made more money than Raising Arizona, The Man Who Wasn't There, Hudsucker, Gambit, Barton Fink. They obviously didn't.
Some of that
Gambit.
just inflation.
Their lowest grossing film is Joel Coen's The Tragedy of Macbeth, which made 176,000. But that was an Apple release. So we've done Brad Pitt on the podcast before, so I'm not as interested in talking about him. I'd say we treat this as more of a George Clooney, Frances McDormand boy party, because they are the two most visible leads of this film.
I think so.
George Clooney, 62 years old. Frances McDormand, 66 years old. Interesting counterparts. Obviously, Frances McDormand is Joel Coen's wife, has been in a number of Coen Brothers films. Her first Oscar win is for Fargo. Her career does sort of exist in parallel to the success of the Coen Brothers, but also very much on its own terms. Funny that her second Oscar then comes for a Martin McDonagh film that is literally an impersonation of the Coen Brothers. And I would love to know what her husband thinks of that film, which is not great, has not held up well, and is a very pale imitation of the sort of films they make. Because Martin McDonagh does not, the one thing he does not understand about the Coens is that they would never try and redeem a character sincerely for terrible things. They assume that their characters are all very stupid people. Sometimes there is a person like the Stuhlbarg character in A Serious Man who has good intentions.
But even he suffers at the end.
Even he suffers at the end. And in 3 Billboards, there is a redemption arc for the Sam Rockwell character who is a racist piece of shit that is just absolutely absurd and a complete a complete misunderstanding of the drama that makes Coen Brothers films so interesting. I think Martin McDonagh unfortunately comes from a completely different background. He comes from a playwriting background in Britain and Ireland, and he may have his talents, but they are
he likes his resolution.
He likes his resolution, and I think his films are incredibly simplistic. Like they are oversimplifications of human behavior in a way that the Coen Brothers just turn up the farce and up and up and up until things become ridiculous. You end up learning more about human behavior from a film like this because of how stupid people are being than you learn from Martin McDonagh film where people are like talking to their mates, you know?
Like these characters are so turned up, but yet you see far more of people you know in these characters than you would in like Martin McDonagh characters.
Yes.
Just little bits. And you're like,
I agree.
Like there's a fun little thing I like that George Clooney does in this where like at 3 or 4 separate occasions he like tries to explain in medical terms his problem with his acid reflux or something, and nobody is listening to him.
No one's listening to him.
But he thinks it's interesting. He thinks it's interesting. It's like, that's like me.
Frances McDormand, a winner of 3 acting Oscars. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 actors who have ever won 3 or more acting Oscars. Can you name them for me?
Katharine Hepburn.
1, yes. She has 4 Oscars.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Correct. He has 3 Oscars.
Tom Hanks?
Nope.
2.
You've got 2. Frances McDormand obviously is the third.
Frances McDormand is third.
That's 3.
How many of them are like...
You have one,
Meryl Streep?
Meryl Streep, correct. Yeah. You have 1, 2, 3
3
left
more.
to get. 3 left to get, yeah. 2... 1 living, 2 dead.
Okay, so we're going back a bit.
Yeah.
Is the living person old?
Yeah.
Okay. Anthony Hopkins?
No.
I'm going to give up because it's going to take too long. Please tell me.
Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
And then the dead are Ingrid Bergman and Walter Brennan.
I wouldn't have got
Walter Brennan is the most fun one ever. All supporting actor.
Really?
And he's just a funny little guy who was really good in a lot of Westerns. A delightful actor. You would really like him.
4 supporting actor.
Like that. I will say this much. Walter Brennan having... No, 3. Not
3,
4.
sorry. 3.
Walter Brennan having 3 supporting actor Oscars. The modern equivalent, closest I can come up with, would be Richard Jenkins having 3 supporting actor Oscars.
He's just that
He's
type.
a nice guy who just works in a bar in a lot of Westerns. Like, great actor.
Good stuff.
So yeah, Frances McDormand is among fantastic company.
Yeah.
She would not have her 3rd Oscar without the COVID pandemic having occurred.
So?
That film would not have won Best Picture, and she would not have won Best Actress. There would have been more real films released that year, and she would not have won an Oscar. I'm glad she did because she's a good actress. It's a good film. She produced it.
She's a good person to have 3 Oscars.
She's a good person to have 3 Oscars. It is very silly that she won 3 Oscars 3 years apart. Very, very silly.
Is there another film that you think she could have won for that she didn't?
No.
Okay, so
not really.
Nomadland's not making up for anything.
No, I don't think so. Okay. I think that she is one of her best performances, if not her best, is on the HBO miniseries Olive Kitteridge with Richard Jenkins, where they play husband and wife. Also Bill Murray, Jesse Plemons, Zoe Kazan. Fantastic show. She's amazing in that. That is, of course, television. Another show that's very indebted to the Coens and has another banger Carter Burwell score. Of course, he scored this film as well, and as I like to say on many episodes of Boy Party, a man I've had email communication with who's very friendly.
Yeah.
A new catchphrase of mine. George Clooney has one Oscar
Yep.
as an actor, at least. I think he probably only has one Oscar total. Kind of insane. One of these guys where if you ask the average normie, how many Oscars does George Clooney have? Sorry, he does have one other for producing Argo. If you ask the average person how many Oscars does George Clooney have, they'd be like, 6 or 7, you know? Like, I think people who don't engage with film think that Tom Hanks and George Clooney alternate Best Actor every second year, you know? It's weird that George Clooney only has one Oscar for acting, and he has not been nominated for Best Actor since 2011. Like, the guy has kind of resigned to making rubbish and rubbish that he directs,
and infrequent rubbish.
And
the stuff he directs is bad.
He directs more than he writes, and his films as a director are by and large appalling, like not good,
and not in a fun way, like in just this has no juice at all.
Yeah, no, he makes an absolute, like, he's a snoozy, boring director,
which is unfortunate because he does have some humor to him when he's acting.
Yes, he seems like a funny guy, and he's worked with such talented directors.
Yeah,
like, he's worked with people like the Coens, and he's worked with Soderbergh, and he's worked with fucking all these guys who have so many ideas. Even people like Brad Bird, like Noah Baumbach. Now he's working with, maybe for the first time. Maybe we'll give him a bit of something.
Yeah,
he's worked with Wes Anderson, but
he's someone who so easily could get back into Oscar contention with just. I think
as an actor or a director, yeah,
I think there's just goodwill towards him in general.
Yes. I think there is a chance that this Baumbach film could be an Oscar contender.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage Story obviously was. White Noise was far too left field for the Oscars.
Yeah.
I think that George Clooney and Adam Sandler are both in a position that people would be very happy to reward the film.
Yeah.
As always, I am skeptical that Adam Sandler will ever pull off an Oscar nomination, but I think it is much more likely that George Clooney could if the film is good. His films as a director in the last 10 years are The Eyes of March, okay.
Not even.
2.5 stars. Like,
it sets remarkably high expectations by having an absolutely sick poster.
Yeah, and great cast, great poster.
Cast.
Great
Giamatti,
premise.
Gosling,
Boring film.
Clooney.
The Monuments Men, utter dog shit. It's a future Boy Party episode, I suspect.
Is it Colin Firth is there?
No.
What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Operation Mincemeat.
Yeah. No.
Matt Damon.
Damon, Blanchett, Clooney, Bill Murray, John Goodman.
Crazy.
And Jean Dujardin. Suburbicon.
Oh, we watched that
last year. A script the Coens threw out, and he was like, I gotta make this. The Midnight Sky, a Netflix science fiction movie that I have never seen.
Weird.
The Tender Bar, a period drama where Ben Affleck plays an alcoholic managing a bar. And this year is The Boys in the Boat. You couldn't come up with more boring stuff if you tried. No. He doesn't deserve any Oscars. He's making rubbish.
Yeah.
But obviously, his best work, Michael Clayton. Those are earlier Coen's films. The
Oceans are good.
Films. I think he's unbelievable in Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah.
He's George Clooney. We are George Clooney positive. He just makes it difficult sometimes. He also has a film coming out this year with Brad Pitt that we will be covering on Boy Party called Wolves, where they play two lone wolves, two lone wolf hitmen who have to team up, which is why it's called Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with Wolves is it is written and directed by Spider-Man No Way Home director John Watts.
Oh.
Unlikely to be more than a 3-star film.
This is a bit of a Chirk situation now or something.
A little bit of a Chirk situation.
Yeah.
Although I would say that John Watts has demonstrated slightly more filmmaking acumen in his Spider-Man films than the Russo brothers ever did in their Avengers films. I will give him that much. He may have a little bit of juice as a director. I don't know for sure.
George Clooney, very good in this.
Very good in this. Frances McDormand, fantastic in this. They're both great.
But George Clooney's doing a thing where he's being unlikable. And he does it so well.
He's done slimy a couple times, but I would say that in Michael Clayton, he is like functional slimy. He's like,
but he's cool slimy. He's not cool in this.
In this, he's not cool. In this, he is lame, and he wears ugly patterned shirts.
Yeah,
that really and he looks good. Like his beard and his hair look as beautiful as ever. But it's the ugly shirts and the way he speaks and the way he moves that just.
One thing I really, really liked about him in this is, if you just kind of focus on his face and watch all the little twitches of the eyes and how subtle the movements are, but it turns him from being like very sexy man to just like remarkably off-putting so quick. And it's a lot of it's in the face, and I really like it. And
Yeah.
I think this is kind of doing the Lady Gaga being a shit pop star thing where he knows how to be charming so well.
He's able to reverse engineer.
He can reverse engineer it into this like awful man. And
yes. Has he played massive dweebs and other stuff? I guess in the other Coen films. In Hail Caesar, he's not in it that much, but he plays this like idiot actor.
Yeah, where he's just like a bit pathetic and he's not in on the joke kind of thing. Yeah.
Intolerable Cruelty is him just doing full Cary Grant. You would really like that film. Yeah. That is a film that is trying to be His Girl Friday, and it's him just doing, and it works. Like, and it's him doing a full Cary Grant. Like, I am this funny, witty, charming guy. That's great. Yeah. I think he has laid off the Cary Grant thing in the last 15 years, which is probably for the best, because like he's never going to be Cary Grant, so why try? But like he comes pretty close in Intolerable Cruelty, where you're like, like if Cary Grant is dead, at least we've got this guy, which is nice.
Himself and kind of Gosling to an extent have this thing where they're happy to be silly.
Yes.
Where a lot of leading men
he would have done I'm Just Ken in 2002. Absolutely. Yeah. Like he did a Batman movie in the late 90s. Yeah. And he came back for The Flash for 5 seconds.
Oh god.
And it was the best moment I had in a cinema last year, because if there's gonna be stupid cameos in superhero movies and you give me a surprise George Clooney appearance, that is a fun person to show up at the end of the film. To be fair,
he's very famous. The trash superhero stuff is producing a lot of laughs recently between that and
Madam Web. Yeah. No, we're doing well. We just need Marvel Studios to stop releasing stuff, clear the deck, so that the other distributors can put out their rubbish, and then we're onto something. Yeah. George Clooney's total box office, only $5.2 billion.
Thought I was going to get a guess there, but
this is what happens when you don't make franchise films.
That's still doing very well.
The Flash is not counted there.
Good.
It's a cameo.
Okay, that's not skewing it.
Highest grossing George Clooney film, $684 million. You got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2,
Ocean's
1.
2.
Gravity.
Ocean's 2. Ocean's
Gravity
12.
is his highest grossing film. Gravity
makes sense.
Gravity, his only film to earn over $500 million. Then we've got Ocean's 11,
checks out.
Ocean's 12, The Perfect Storm, Ocean's 13, Batman and Robin.
Real RT2 11 p.m. film.
Wolfgang Peterson.
Yep.
Inexplicable $200 million gross for Tomorrowland. I would have told you that film made $70 million if you asked me to guess.
Same.
It still lost money, but not as much as I would have thought. Mm-hmm. Spy Kids, which I forget that he's in. The Descendants, a drama about a man whose wife dies. $175 million gross. He is a star.
100%.
Descendants is a great film. Great film, great performance.
Our buddy Jim Rash
wrote the film. Directed by Alexander Payne.
Mm-hmm.
Ticket to Paradise, only 2 years ago, did $168 million. Like, he's still a star.
That's a cheap thing to make.
If he makes a film that is marketed heavily at women in their 50s, it will make money. That's the thing. Ticket to Paradise is the perfect combination of George Clooney's star power and the type of audience that still care about George Clooney movies.
Like, his name is still like synonymous with movie star.
It's synonymous with movie star. He would be many people's. He is to movie stars what Spielberg is to directors.
Yeah.
The person in the world who knows the least about movies, you say, who's a big movie star of the last 20 years? They go, George Clooney.
Brad Pitt, George
Clooney,
Pitt and George Tom Hanks, maybe. Yeah.
Tom Hanks. Those are like baby's first movie star.
Yeah.
Which is interesting when you look at his list and you're like, not a lot of hits on here. Like,
no.
Burn After Reading is one of his 10 highest grossing films. Like, and then you're into stuff like The Monuments Men. Like, he made a lot of good dramas at a time when people cared, you know?
I think so. He got in at
he was in movies in the mid 2000s that people were renting from Extravision en masse. People saw Michael Clayton in 2007. People would not see Michael Clayton today.
No.
So like he managed to infiltrate the minds of the average TV, DVD renter with a string of excellent dramas in the 2000s. And capitalizing on his stardom that he had from Eeyore and from being a general kind of handsome, charming guy, and he has managed. And like
he's not a successful brand of movie star that has been recreated particularly since.
No, Ryan Gosling is probably close enough in the sense that he is taken seriously and he is able to flip between serious and
but again,
commercial.
it's the film industry market doesn't allow for that kind of range anymore.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a DVD rental hit. Like Michael Clayton, obviously was nominated for Best Picture and stuff, but like that's a film that the most Irish people who saw it probably rented the DVD.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's no version of that for streaming now. Like I don't think there's films that people necessarily discover by accident. I guess there's films like No Hard Feelings, which do better on streaming than they do in the cinema. You know, people wait to watch them.
Yeah, like who stands out to people now when you're scrolling through the Netflix?
I don't know.
Trash.
I mean, Bradley Cooper's a real movie star.
Yeah,
but he's a different type to George Clooney. He does performances. He dresses up and wears a fake nose and all this. George Clooney would never wear a fake nose. George Clooney always plays George Clooney.
Yeah.
Note from his list of films here, he doesn't really do biopics. He made Good Night and Good Luck, but he's not the star of that.
Yeah.
There's never George Clooney plays Cary Grant and wins his Oscar. George Clooney won his Oscar for playing a fictional character, I assume, in Syriana, and he plays George Clooney type guys rather than playing a famous person that George Clooney resembles. You know what I mean?
Do you think he has missed out on? Do you think he plays it too safe? Is that like, or does he have a?
I don't know. I think
does he have an expansive enough body of work?
He needs to work with more of the like good directors.
Yeah.
Like why hasn't he made a David Fincher movie? Why hasn't he made a Paul Thomas Anderson film? It's crazy. Like these guys should be utilizing him
like his peers do it.
Yes, like Leo does it, and Joaquin Phoenix does it. So why can't he do it? He's never done a Tarantino.
No.
Why is Brad Pitt working with Fincher and Tarantino and he's not?
Yeah.
I think because he directs so much. Brad Pitt's never directed a film. George Clooney directs so much that maybe he's become slightly undirectable for these auteurs because he himself needs to have so much input. I think Tom Cruise has that problem too. Mm-hmm. They have their own vision so intensely that they can't be directed by people with a very strong vision. So maybe people like Fincher, Tarantino, PTA would struggle with someone like Clooney, whereas DiCaprio fully hands himself over, and Joaquin Phoenix and Matt Damon even hand themselves fully over as like,
to the Scorsese's,
use me as much as you want. And Clooney can do a Cuarón and a Soderbergh, but like those guys are a bit different.
Yeah, he also seems to like be the kind of guy that has enough going on outside of the movie world that he's like kind of happy enough to.
He's got an impressive home life. He's got an impressive wife. He has loads of money. Yeah. He's in Nescafe ads. He's weirdly seems to be best friends with Jean Dujardin. He's got a great life. Mm-hmm. Frances McDormand, her films have made $3.6 billion, which is better than you'd expect.
Pretty good,
but that is because of two films in particular. Three, in fact. Her number one highest grossing film, can you name it? $1 billion plus.
$1 billion.
$1.1 billion for this.
What is her $1 billion?
She plays a character called Charlotte Meering.
Is it a Marvel thing?
Nope.
Is it superhero?
Nope. Not really. Sort of. There's like buildings being blown up and stuff. Lots of explosions.
Yeah.
2011.
2011.
A 3-star film, in my opinion. A decent 3-star film.
Is this like a Mark Wahlberg thing?
Nope. Not quite. No.
Am I in the right?
You're in the right area, but not quite. This made over $1 billion.
Right. I'm
little kids were going to see this. Silly boys.
Animated?
Nope. I'll tell you. Transformers.
Transformers. Yeah.
Her second highest grossing film. Madagascar 3. Europe's Most Wanted, where she plays the bad zoo lady. The Good Dinosaur. $333 million. Something's Gotta Give, the first real movie on here. Burn After Reading, 3 Billboards, Primal Fear, Moonrise Kingdom, Hail Caesar, I Love Dogs. Aeon Flux, what does she do in that? Anyway, not a lot of commercial hits there for Frances, but a great actor all the same.
You know what? I'd take 3 Oscars instead, to be honest.
Yeah. John Malkovich, kind of become a bit of a meme star now. Like he was in Space Force with Rel for 2 seasons, but he was great in the New Pope. Is that what it's called? Yeah, the second season of The Young Pope, where he plays this sort of goth philosopher, maybe gay or bisexual pope who gets brought in after Jude Law goes into a coma. He hangs out with Sharon Stone and Marilyn Manson. He's a fun character. Tilda Swinton, obviously. Very, very weird that she only has the one Oscar. If you'd think she'd have more than one by now.
I don't know. I wouldn't peg her as having.
I guess not. You know what? She kind of has the vibe of someone who would never win an Oscar, and everyone would get out about it. It's kind of impressive she has one, and for Michael Clayton of all things, it's so bizarre.
Which is really funny.
Really, really, really weird.
Did Clooney get nominated for that?
Yeah.
Oh, he did at least.
He
okay.
Did. Don't ask me who he lost out to. I don't know.
R.I.P. Tom Wilkinson.
07. R.I.P. Tom Wilkinson. Richard Jenkins obviously great in this, and yeah. I don't know. We've kind of talked about everyone. Oh, I forgot we do games at the end of this podcast.
We do games.
Well, that's why we have time left on the clock. Right. Yeah. So, do you have the box office up?
No, but we're doing the
credits game.
The credits game.
Right. So we'll do the credits game. The credits game is when I read Shane the credits of a movie starring one of the boys from this boy party.
Mm-hmm.
From bottom to top, according to Letterboxd, from the lowest build to the first build, and he has to guess the film as fast as he possibly can. There's obviously a couple of stars in this film, so I'm not going to tell him exactly what the film is as of yet.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully he has fun guessing.
I always have fun guessing.
So, do you want the year?
Of course.
2022.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Is this Bullet Train?
Nope. Okay. Carlos Nunez, James Wellington, Johnny Hoops, PJ Byrne, Olivia Hamilton, Cece Lau, Eric Roberts, Patrick Fugit, Kaya Gerber.
Hold on there now. Patrick Fugit.
Yeah.
Our best friend doppelganger.
Yeah.
Kaya Gerber. Is that Austin Butler's girlfriend?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Lee Jun Lee, Lucas Haas, Circus Zalewski.
Lucas Haas. There's a man with a face I know and things.
Good face, yeah.
Good face. I've seen this, have I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll keep going.
I feel like this is a Brad Pitt film. Because he works...
Who's to say?
Who's to say? All right, keep going.
Olivia Wilde, Telvin Griffin, Hansford Prince, Jimmy Ortega, J.C. Curace, Jovan Adepo, Flea.
Oh, stop.
Flea?
Yeah, let's pause
Flea
that
should
there.
not be fifth build on this. I disagree. I don't think that he is. That's crazy if so.
What did I see Flea in recently?
Flea's been in a couple of things.
He has, and I can't remember if I'm confusing him with some old film we saw last year as well. Is he like Jackie Brown or something?
I don't know.
You know, he shows up in...
He might be.
He's wearing his suit.
I'm going to keep going.
No, fuck it.
All right.
Flea. I know what this is. Go on.
Gene Smart. Diego Calva.
Oh, Babylon.
Yeah,
that's what he should... Yeah.
Babylon. Ugh. Flea is not fifth build in Babylon. I don't even remember him being in it. Oh, he's like some
He's
sort
a studio exec.
Studio executive guy.
Yeah.
All right. Good casting.
There's not that many people that talk in Babylon outside of the main.
Yeah, but like, but your man from Curb wasn't even on the list. Like, Samara Weaving, Max Minghella, Jeff Garland.
Is Tobey Maguire third build in
Tobey Maguire is not even in there. Like, no.
What?
It's Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, Diego Calva. Sorry, Tobey Maguire is like not even on this list. Sorry, he's like way down the bottom.
Oh, weird.
There's so many names like Chloe Fineman, Sarah Ramos. I think Tobey Maguire has the and maybe.
Okay.
And yes, and that's why he's so far down this list because they've just put it in like complete order from top to bottom.
Just on the building block, like.
He must be. All right.
Yeah.
Box office, please, sir.
Oh, I got too distracted thinking
this film
about Diego Calva and what an amazing film.
$37 million budget, and it grosses 163, which is very good. Immediately after this, they make A Serious Man, my favorite film of all time, by the way.
This is September 12th, 2008.
Good stuff.
What's number one?
Burn After Reading.
Yeah, a bit of BAR.
Good stuff.
There are 4 new films at the top of the box office this week.
Oh, exciting.
This sounds like it's going to be a horror.
Right.
Which is not a good sign.
Yeah.
It's a pun name.
It's a pun name.
Yep.
So it's called like...
Oh.
What is the O?
Just, the title of this film, as it's listed on Letterboxd, is Tyler Perry's...
Oh, so it's a Tyler Perry thing.
Yeah.
It's not... So it's before I Can Do Bad All By Myself. So it's... God, I don't know. There's a lot of Tyler Perry films I don't know.
Kathy Bates is the...
I have no idea what this is.
This is Tyler Perry's The Family That Prays.
I've never heard of that. Praise with an E.
Praise with an E.
I've never heard
That's
of
why
that.
I thought it was a horror when I saw that.
Never. And Kathy Bates is in it.
Yeah, first build.
I've never seen Tyler Perry make a film with a white actor first build.
Yeah,
Fascinating. Fascinating. Look at that.
Next up,
Yep.
we have Oh, this could be a boy party.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Real. I think if we did these are actors that frequently work together, and I think if we did this as the boy party episode on the two of them, it'd be
a fun one.
Not a fun one, but it'd be an unusual one to do.
Interesting.
This is a 101 minutes by John Avnet film.
No, that's not helpful information. Oh God, yeah, I can tell you what it is off the 101 minutes.
I said John Avnet film.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
You don't know who that is. John Leguizamo and 50 Cent are fourth and fifth billed, followed by Johnny Wahlberg.
Is it Four Brothers?
No.
No, that's a John Singleton.
Carla Gugino?
Yeah.
Third billed.
Third billed.
The two leading men play two detectives named Turk and Rooster.
Turk and Rooster.
Yeah.
So it's not De Niro and Pacino.
It is De Niro and Pacino.
Yeah. This is Killer Elite?
Righteous Kill.
Righteous Kill.
Never heard of this before.
Stupid. Like, it's stupid that they made their third movie together after Godfather 2 and Heat.
Yeah.
And it was fucking Righteous Kill. That's just silly, like.
Mm-hmm.
It diluted the magic. And then they didn't work together again, I suppose, until The Irishman.
Mm-hmm.
What a silly thing to do. Yeah, never watching that. Stupid. It's a fucking Lionsgate film or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks awful.
It looks terrible.
It looks very flat.
Hideous poster. Like.
Yeah, terrible. Next up, we have the fourth new film at the top of our box office. This could be a girl party.
Okay. All right.
Two actresses I'm not that familiar with.
Okay.
They were probably bigger in the 80s.
Bigger in the 80s?
Maybe bigger pre-2000.
Right. Oof. I don't know.
It's a Diane English film, if that does anything for you.
No.
There are... I'll call out some of the other ladies in this. We got some Eva Mendes.
Okay.
Deborah Messing.
Is this the women?
This is the women.
Let me guess the top women in this. Annette Bening, Meg Ryan.
Yep.
Yeah.
That a boy party?
That is a girl party. Yeah,
girl
right.
party.
That's one that I never thought of.
Mm-hmm.
It's a remake, I think, of something else from years ago. It looks like a snooze.
The first
we could talk about it.
The first
yeah.
result. So
yeah.
I couldn't think of the word result there for a minute. Is a film called The Women from 1939. So
maybe it's a remake of that.
Maybe. Could be.
It's occurred to me now that Nyad is kind of a girl party. Benning and Jodie Foster. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Next up is another potential boy party, but we're not going to do it because we've covered it on a previous podcast.
Tropic Thunder. Yeah. The line in Boyhood that I'll never forget. The kid says to his dad, he goes, Dad, the three best movies of the summer. Tropic Thunder, The Dark Knight, and Iron Man. No, sorry, ignore me. He says, three best movies of summer. Three best movies of summer. Tropic Thunder, The Dark Knight, and Pineapple Express. That's what he says. I'll always stick with me that those are the movies.
Okay, I'm just gonna name the five leads of this film and tell me if you can guess it.
Okay.
Anna Faris, Colin Hanks, Emma Stone, Kat Dennings, Hugh Hefner.
The House Bunny.
No,
Kat Dennings was in that.
Yeah.
Hugh Hefner really gave that one away, I'm afraid.
Okay.
What the fuck else would he be in?
Yeah, exactly.
Except a movie set at the Playboy Mansion. His house. That film is set in his house.
Mm-hmm.
That's like being like, who's in this movie? Fucking naming four actors and then me. I was like, it's the movie set in my house.
Next up is The Dark Knight. I'm not going to make you guess that.
Yeah.
And then we'll do one more. Okay. And this is a really, really fun one and has a very dear place in our heart.
Dragon Emperor.
No.
A dear place in our heart. Space Chips.
No.
Oh, that was a good guess.
That's more of a your heart kind of thing.
Okay. Special place in our heart.
We have had an interaction with a member of the cast of this film.
We together?
Yeah.
Is Griffin Newman in this?
No.
Who have we interacted with? You and I together.
Mm-hmm.
We don't interact with many people. Are they Irish?
No. The actor that we have encountered is Oliver Steele.
Oh, Oliver Steele. Bangkok Dangerous.
This is Bangkok Dangerous.
Remind me, we messaged him on Facebook.
Yeah.
And we were like, you're the kid at the end of Bangkok Dangerous.
You're the kid that's crying in the airport.
And he was like, sure.
He was like, yeah.
Who are you?
And we were just like, oh.
That's so funny.
We watched this in Michael's house, our
2016
fellow boy party
We had a
attendee.
good time. Bangkok Dangerous.
And we just, I don't know, we were 18 and we're like, let's message the character in
They
this
kinda
film.
shit you when
I
you're
think he was
18.
last on the credits, so we were like,
yeah, he was. Yeah, he was the last person in the film. Like, and not a very good film. Do we have a
DVD of that?
Michael's dad has it. And he watches it all the time, apparently.
Yeah, just a weird film that's like Nicolas Cage protecting a deaf and blind Vietnamese lady.
It's not a high point for Nick, unfortunately.
No.
I mean, producing 1,000 Words, Eddie Murphy was his real low point, but you'll have to listen to our April Fool's episode to get that
This
one.
made money though for some reason.
Bangkok Dangerous? Yeah, it did make money. It was still big.
I was surprised at how much of a real film this was.
This is only 6 months after Book of Secrets.
Yeah.
He hadn't gone into B-movie territory yet. Like,
Yeah.
I think Bangkok Dangerous is like his last... Bangkok Dangerous is the bridge between real and fake Nicolas Cage movies.
Yeah.
It is a real one that looks like a fake one.
Yeah.
Which allows him to go on a 10-year spree of making fake ones that look like real ones.
Mm-hmm.
If Moses supposes your toes are roses, then Moses supposes erroneously. I think that's it for our Burn After Reading episode.
Go watch it.
You must burn this podcast after listening.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for tuning in. You can
Throw your phone in the lake.
I wonder what other Coen films will do. There aren't many options. There aren't many options. And we've done...
Is Lebowski Goodman, Jeff Bridges?
Not really.
No,
this might be the only one. God, that's heartbreaking if so.
Driveway Dolls? Not big enough stars.
Intolerable Cruelty kind of is one, but we've done Clooney now.
Yeah.
I feel like we've done all our Clooney we're going to do for a while.
Just so the audience knows, we have like a lot of films planned out. We don't just make them up on the spot.
No. We've been doing our
list.
March Madness bracket on Instagram.
Go vote on that.
You'll know by now who's won. Thanks for tuning in, and check out our April Fool's Day episode about Norbit, which came out yesterday or last week, depending.
Yeah.
It's really good and funny, and you'll love hearing us talk about Norbit. We'll be back next week with more Boy Party. Please get home safe and enjoy reading our memoirs. Thank you for tuning in. Bye bye.